Magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Lira and Lo, and thank you again for joining me for our usual get together on a Thursday evening between 7:30 and 8:30 p.m. Ako pong host nyo. I'm your host, Lira Simon Kapatbat, broadcasting live as usual, no, from London, England. I'm a practicing solicitor for over 33 years. 33 years. It never ceases to amaze me. Talaga, ang bilis-bilis ng panahon, astonishing. Anyway, I'm a principal of my firm called Douglas Simon Solicitors. We have been established 28 years. So I've actually been qualified, obviously, longer than my firm has been established. But nevertheless, you're looking at 3 decades either way, no? So I've been doing this a long time, and as you know, it is something that I enjoy. And thank you very much for joining me. Alam ko, may mga tao nanonood nga ngayon. It always impresses me, that you take the time to actually watch and take part nga live. So it's much appreciated. And please do say hello nga mamaya, don't be shy, definitely don't be shy. Pag-uusapan po natin, of course, are concern legal issues that concern you, and I will always try to be as practical as I possibly can. Now, normally, meron tayong mga star questions. Our star question, or our star topic nga today, is actually one that that's come about from a case, a hearing, in fact, that I had relatively recently. So, pumunta nga kami sa korte, and one of the cases that was actually referred to a court was a court of appeal case called Butt, as in BUTT, against Secretary of State for the Home Department, and it's a 2025 case, and it's by the Court of Appeal. So it's obviously binding precedent nga. So yun ang pag-uusapan po natin ngayon. But hindi nga lang yun. We've had also received a number of questions, great questions actually, going from variation of leave to remain to where making application up for children, visit visa, lahat. So all those we're going to speak about. And also, I have an update on the BRPs. Actually, that's one of the questions also. So, ang dami nating pag-uusapan nga ngayon. And so, I'm not going to keep you waiting. So, we're going to take a quick break. Saglit nga lang po. And then we're going to launch directly into our topics. And then, of course, the other questions. So, don't go away. I'll be with you shortly. Welcome back to Lira and Lo. I am, as I've said, your host, Lira Simon Kababat, broadcasting live from London, England. Thank you for joining me, on a Thursday, kind of spring. Actually, it is spring now. Hindi ganun malamig. Last week, it was cold, hindi ko pa, I must admit, hindi ko pa I've not put away yung mga coats ko. My coats are still out, But today, for the first time, it was actually quite warm. Or it felt like it was quite warm. So, sabi nga nila, bukas daw, mainit ulit. But the weekend, we'll see rain. Never mind. As long as we're nearly there with spring. But anyway, thank you very much for giving up your spring evening to be with me tonight. And as usual nga, we're going to try and discuss legal issues that concern you. Has it not been an interesting legal week this week, also politically? I'll say no more. Anyway, now, ang pag-uusapan nga natin, as I've said, is this new case, relatively new case, 2025 case. It was actually heard, determined nga in January. So it's only a few weeks old, in fact. Now, ang kaso po, ang pangalan ng kaso, BUTT, no? Against Secretary of State for the Home Department, basically the Home Office, okay? And it was a Court of Appeal case. And it was one that was raised in relation to another case that I had fairly recently at the first year tribunal nga. So ito pong nangyari. So let's have a look. Ano bang tinignan nila in relation to this? So the Court of Appeal looked at public interest of immigration control, Article 8, which is private life, family life, and there's an old case called Chikwamba. Those of you who are familiar with immigration will know about that case. It was a 2008 case, but still a good law, but there have been a number of cases nga pro it, against it. But anyways, one of the things din na tinignan nitong kasong ito. So tingnan natin ang background. What are the facts? So the appellant in this case was a Pakistani national. So he's from Pakistan. Dumating siya dito sa UK in 2006 with a visitor visa. Visit visa siya. Naging overstayer siya. And after about 10 years, in 2016, nagpasok siya ng application to remain in the UK, regularize his stay in the UK as a spouse. So nagpakasal siya. No? Nandito yung asawa niya sa UK. So the Home Office, unang-una, refused that application on the basis that they did not accept that there are what they call insurmountable obstacles, no, sa kaso, or whether that there are exceptional circumstances. I'll be coming back to those legal phrases shortly, no? So sabi nila yun, those do not exist, and that the couple can pursue their family life back in Pakistan, no? Now, on his first appeal, so he was refused, he was given a right of appeal, he exercised that right of appeal. So on his first appeal, he went before the first-year tribunal, as usual nga, and sabi ng first-year tribunal, there's no independent evidence provided that actually that they would suffer as a couple nga a significant or serious hardship upon relocation. Basically, pwede silang bumalik. There's no evidence na hindi sila pwedeng bumalik and enjoy family life in Pakistan. Okay? Now, that appeal was unsuccessful. That appeal was dismissed. So, ano na nangyari after that? And then there was, it seems that nor would it be unjustifiably harsh for them to continue the relationship outside of the United Kingdom. Again, I'll come back to this unjustifiably harsh issue. So, anong nangyari? So it went obviously before the first-year tribunal. It went they went then to the upper tribunal. Anyway, it found its way to the Court of Appeal. The Court of Appeal is certainly one of the highest courts in the land. So that it found its way to the Court of Appeal meant that there were issues of legal issues that the court said they want to look at. Now, ano bang nangyari? No? So basically, the Court of Appeal was actually the appeal was brought by the Home Office on this occasion. The appellant clearly won on the first-year tribunal. Anyway, so the Court of Appeal looked at the case again, and they determined, ang kaso nga, that there were errors of law made by the first-year tribunal. Now, sabi nila, the Court of Appeal that is, that the tribunal failed to consider whether there were what's called insurmountable obstacles to private life in Pakistan, or whether there are exceptional circumstances, and simply found that that the decision of the Home Office was disproportionate. Anong ibig sabihin yun? So, sabi ng Court of Appeal, nagkamali yung first-year tribunal. Tinignan nga lang nila, is it disproportionate, no, to send him back to Pakistan, rather than looking at whether there are insurmountable obstacles or exceptional circumstances. Now, stay with me. I know it can get a bit, it can get quite intense and quite confusing. So, the upshot of it is this: nung tinignan nga ng korte, ng Court of Appeal, sabi nila, nagkamali yung first-year tribunal where the appellant actually won his case. And so when they looked at it, basically they reversed the decision. They found for the Home Office. Now, why did they do that? Now, why is this case nga important? Tingnan natin, right? Now, basically, sabi ng Court of Appeal, there is a high threshold, no? That needs to be applied nga by the Home Office and any courts that look at unang-una nga public interest, immigration control, okay? Especially where the immigration history is poor. So, translation yon, kailangan tingnan nyo, no, when you're preparing a case or either for an application nga or an appeal, that you submit enough documents to show that there are indeed insurmountable obstacles. No? So hindi nga lang that it's inconvenient, na it will be difficult. It's way above that. No? Insurmountable obstacles or exceptional circumstances. Again, it's not enough to say, well, mahal ang pamasahe sa atin, hindi nga lang basta ka makakauwi. It has to be, again, more than that. I like to say, the way I explain it to my clients is I say, okay, the threshold, the normal threshold nga nandito, as soon as you go with, as soon as you need to show insurmountable obstacles or exceptional circumstances, the threshold that goes from here goes right up there, okay? So you need to try that much harder. So kung ang kaso nyo, so let's apply it nga to the cases that normally you need, where you normally see these insurmountable obstacles nga being applied by the Home Office or exceptional circumstances is where, say, nandito kayo. So the case of itong kaso nga ito, the 2025 case of BAT. So sabihin natin, nandito kayo. Meron kayong asawa dito o meron kayong partner dito. So sabihin natin hindi nga kasal. Matagal na nga kayo dito, no? Wala kayong visa. So TNT, overstay o kayo dito. Now, gusto niyong tumira na nga dito dahil nandito kayong pareho. No? You want to stay in the United Kingdom to pursue your family life with your partner in the UK. Now, this case is important because it actually provide some guidance anong kailangan tignan ng korte and of course the Home Office. So this case is important in many ways. Una nga, there's guidance. Also, this case is clear, it's Court of Appeal. So pag magpapasok kayo ng application or indeed appeal, you should distinguish your case from this case. No? So ang kaso nyo, sasabihin nyo, well, ibang kaso ko. That here, there were no, it was found there were no insurmountable obstacles or no exceptional circumstances, for example. No? Ang kaso nyo, there are indeed insurmountable obstacles or exceptional circumstances because. No? So, kailangan yung sabihin. Hindi lang sabihin, kailangan yung pakita. No? So, this is where this case, again, from a practical point of view, becomes quite important when you're making applications, as I say, or if you are appealing nga. Now, una nga, let's dissect it. Anong kailangan nyo pakita? Masasabi ko sa inyo, evidence is king. No? What's this phrase? Sabi nila, cash is king. In this case, for law, evidence is king. You need to be able to show and convince initially the Home Office, and then if it's refused, of course, the court, the first-year tribunal or upper tribunal, or in this case, not Court of Appeal, that your case falls within insurmountable obstacles or exceptional circumstances. How do you provide evidence? How do you? I'm often asked this actually. Itong kaso ko, but how do I prove it? How do I show it? In many ways. So una nga, always start with statements. Statements, now, I don't mean bank statements, of course, they can be useful evidence, also bank statements, but by statements, I mean parang affidavit, yung istorya nyo, okay? And your statements must be, it must be a good balance nga between, of course, you have to be factual, and by all means, yeah, you can also say, what you feel, how difficult it would be, but please do not be melodramatic, because it's not helpful to your case. Gusto na makita, okay, these are the facts, these may amount to insurmountable obstacles. These may amount to exceptional circumstances. If you're packing it in with melodrama, okay, then that may take away from the strength of your statement. So importante nga, your statements must be, it doesn't have to be long also. It doesn't have to be pages and pages. It needs to be relevant kung ano sasabihin nyo. And tip ko, what I find quite helpful to also give you yourself nga a structure is I head it, no? So meron kong topic heading. That's how I prepare my statement. So unang-unang lalagay ko, of course, apart from the basic details, pangalan nyo, saan kayo nakatira, anong trabaho nyo dito, if that's the case. I also say then background, no? Doesn't have to be anything fancy. I just normally say my immigration background is this, no? Ilang taong kayo, for example, kailan kayo dumating dito, no? And then my family life, no? In the United Kingdom, my relatives I have abroad, no? My insurmountable obstacles, exceptional circumstances, no? My family in the United Kingdom. So you can structure it in however way you want, but importante nga, there must be some kind of structure. You don't want to get lost. You don't also want to get repeating yourself. That's also not helpful. If once you say it once, you don't have to say it again, no? It's also a statement. So whatever you put down, they can reread again. Yung statement nyo, importante po yun. At of course, hindi lang para sa inyo. Kung meron kayong mga witnesses, so asawa nyo, anak nyo, if they're over the age of 18, for example nga, kaibigan, no, na makakatulong nga, then they should also prepare statements if they're going to give evidence nga at court. Yeah, importante yon. Dahil kailangan pakita ano bang sasabihin nila. And normally what happens is they what they often refer to as adopt your statement, no? So the judge will look at it, and your barrister or your solicitor nga may well say, okay, you made the statement dated whatever. Do you confirm the truthfulness of that statement? And once you say yes, then they don't normally ask you much more. And then the other side, normally the Home Office get to question you over your statement, no? So yun. So importante po yung statement nyo yung una tama, no? Alam nyo, no? If there are dates, relevant dates, important dates, put it down. And of course, it must be prepared for you or by you. Okay. If I'm dealing with cases, of course, I prepare nga statements for my clients and their witnesses after taking instructions from them. So kaso nyo pa rin. But it's just, of course, but it's prepared by your legal representative. No? Pero importante po na tama nga, alam niyo sinasabi nyo. Okay? So statements, I cannot emphasize enough how important statements are because it sets the scene, no? If you like. Yun ang umpisa eh. Yun ang unang babasahin nga ng judge. Titingnan nga nila, pangalawa, because the first one they will read really is the grounds of appeal, or the refusal grounds of appeal. Tapos yun, titingnan nga nila, ano bang sinasabi nyo? Anong kaso nyo? Anong buhay nyo ba dito? Okay? So, importante po yun, statements. Now, you can, of course, also provide, especially nga if it's an application rather than an appeal, letters in support. Okay? Sulat. No? The many times I've seen letters in support just duplicated. The worst was I had one case that I took over from someone else, and there were something like over 50, letters in support. But what was of concern is that they were duplicates. They were saying exactly the same. Iba nga lang pangalan at saka petsa, yun lang, nung nagsusuporta. But otherwise, it said exactly the same thing. It was generic. Don't make that mistake when you're submitting evidence nga in support. It has to be what I often say, bespoke. No? So magkakaling sa nanay nyo, sabihin natin. Sasabihin siguro nanay nyo, oh yes, nandito ako, nung dumating nga, ilang taon siya, is she okay health-wise, is she still working, what was her job nga before, why is it that she does not wish for you to return, sabihin natin. nyo, kung yun yung kaso nyo nga, no? And that goes the same for mga kaibigan nyo if they're going to prepare statements. I always also say to my clients, I would rather have two good statements that are to the point and where the witness can provide good supporting information nga, than 20 statements that are just um, too general, no? Um, because it's not it's not quantity, it's quality. Okay? Importante po 'yon. Kung magpapasok kayo ng statements or indeed letters in support, I normally also provide a copy of some kind of ID from the person who made the letter or the statement nga, just to show that it's a genuine letter or genuine statement. So a copy of the passport would do, a copy of a driver's license nga would do. And of course, if they're going to come to court, if they're going to be a witness, then you must also make sure that they are available on that day. Now, other evidence would be, and this is something, unless you have legal background, you may not know about, no, what they call country reports. Now, for most countries, the Home Office will look at what they call country reports. So basically, the reports that's prepared really for the Home Office, setting out delikado ba yung bansa, what's the mortality rate, say for children nga, how are minorities being treated, how are women being treated nga, no? So all those things may be contained in this country report. Okay? Importante po yun. So, kung, sa mga bansa, no, if you, in the case of Bat, he's obviously came from Pakistan, kung galing kayo sa Pilipinas, there will be a country report. It may be relevant to you. Okay? What I also like to do is I look at reports about the country at that time. No? So it could be not last year. It was a different case, sabihin natin sa Pilipinas, no? But this year, 12 months later, things have worsened or got better, no? So always look at up-to-date reports. So, for example, I had cases that involved Nepal. No, I always look at Nepal because it's in the past they've been, of course, subject to, like the Philippines, no, quite a lot of earthquakes, but devastating earthquakes. No, so that may actually say that this one place nga was subject to devastating earthquake nga. As a result, infrastructure has still not been completed, no, or built up. So those are country reports or reports about the country. For example, no, if you're going to a place like Pakistan, it could be that women, the reports on women may say that they're not perhaps as progressive, for example, no. So you own, no. So it's quite important that you look at country reports or reports about the country. Also, expert evidence, okay? Hindi po, of course, you can provide just a copy of your medical notes, no, which you're entitled to obtain, or just a brief letter from your GP. But where you're unwell, so sabihin natin, ang witness nyo, nanay nyo, may sakit si nanay, sabihin nyo, no? Kung may sakit si nanay, you need really a bit more than simply perhaps potentially a GP report, no? It could be that you want something a bit more than that. So kung meron siyang problema na unfortunately maybe cancer, maybe something from the oncologist nga, or if there are issues with mental health, no, with one of your witnesses or yourself, no, maybe a report, a psychotherapist report or a psychologist report or psychiatrist report. So never underestimate experts report, because the idea is you're saying to the judge, look, itong problema ko, and it's actually supported by, my medically, by your GP, by a therapist, by a psychologist, by a psychiatrist. And then I would normally go one step further, and I look, may problema nga, it can be, as I say, mental health issues, o kaya to do with kidneys. No, we seem to be prone to chronic kidney disease, CKDs. No, so it's you then want to compare potentially what are the treatments available in your home country where you would go back to what you have now. No, can you even travel? Beyond. So expert report to include medical reports important. And last but not least, okay, legal representations. Kung meron kayong abogado, then when you make an application nga, certainly when we make applications, one of I certainly deal with, I spend a lot of time and big chunk of my legal representations, kung ganitong kaso, deal with insurmountable obstacles, exceptional circumstances, and of course, mga kaso, the cases that support your case and also go against your case. No? Because you can't just ignore those cases that go against the facts of your case. You need to distinguish them from the facts of your case. Otherwise, the Home Office will just say, well, itong kaso, the but case of 2025, this is exactly your case. We're going to follow it. So it is for you to say, yeah, we're aware of that case, but it's not, it can be distinguished. And you can use that phrase, no? Take it from me, by all means, no? You can distinguish that case from the facts of your case because, no? Lagay nyo doon, no? And kung meron kayong abogado, they should do that. As I say, importante po kung kaso nyo, wala kayong visa, nandito kayo, you're making an application, in the case of Mr. Butt, to remain in the UK based on family life nga, then importante po that you address the issue of the legal issues nga. Okay? And as I say, kung meron kang abogado, they should do that for you. And you're entitled, of course, to ask for a copy of the legal representations. No, so it's not increasingly. You know, this one is probably the most recent and most known case, no, in 2025, because it's a Court of Appeal case. Nga, it's not. Hindi nga po basta-basta. You have to make an effort when you're submitting cases like this. Do not assume, and a lot of people do this, do not assume na tatawagan kayo ng Home Office. No, nagpasok kayong application, nandun sa harap na nga nila, tatawagan kayo to try and get from you nga a bit more information about your life in the UK, ano bang kaso nyo nga dito. No, do not assume that because 90% of the time, hindi po yun ang ginagawa nila. If you don't submit your documents in support, then it's more likely than not they will just refuse it. And then you're in the realms of appealing. And of course, yeah, you can appeal. It goes before a judge. The judge will be independent of the Home Office, but that's it's harder, to potentially. Well, it's harder in a way to win an appeal than it is to get the application and also the application sorted. So if you are kung kompleto kayo, no? You have your case, you presented your case well, then the chance of success is maximized, and that's really what you want. No, you need to present your case correctly, quite properly, and I suspect that there may have been some issues with this case, either because the Home Office did not believe it, or maybe there were insufficient documents in support. We don't know necessarily, okay? But of course, you don't want to fall into that problem. The idea is to maximize your chance of success, and of course, be truthful to the Home Office. And you will be doing your case an injustice by not giving them documents in support of your case. And as I say again, do not assume na tatawagan kayo to elicit from you documents or information. Don't assume that, because most of the time that's not what's gonna happen. Okay. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. No, it's this case fascinated me, partly because obviously it was relevant to a case that I had recently, and it kind of pointed me also to. It emphasized to me again how difficult it is to actually support your case, on insurmountable obstacles or exceptional circumstances. So beware, no? You have been forewarned. Kung ganong kaso nyo, importante po, give it as much as you possibly can. But don't, again, I say again, do not, I don't think it's helpful to have statements that are like melodramatic, because that's not really where they're coming from. But anyway, I hope that you enjoyed that. So the case, I'll give you the reference to the case again. It's called Butt, against Secretary of State. It's a 2025 case. It was heard by the Court of Appeal. No, if you're interested and if you have time, check it out. It's actually quite an interesting case. No, it also makes reference. I mean, yung pinag-usapan nga natin is quite a shortened version of what it was about. It's actually probably much more interesting than how I'm portraying it to be, because there's quite a bit more to it than what we can pack into tonight. Now, I hope you enjoyed that. I mean, I get quite passionate about these things. That I do tend to go on. So, and there's no one here to stop me. Keep talking, so I'm going to stop now. Now comes my absolute favorite part of our get together. And that is yung batian natin, no? And I do hope, kung nanonood kayo, huwag kayong mahiya. I've had many people, they sometimes see me in the office, tapos ang sabi nila, oh yeah, nanonood ako, pero hindi, nahihiya akong bumati, no? And I always say, look, bakit kayo mahihiyang bumati? It's only us, okay? So if you're watching now, say hello, please, okay? But those of you who are saying hello now, let's have a look. So sad. Miss Paner, Miss Marian Galicia Paner. Hello po. Sabi niya na hello po, Tony, at sa lahat. Happy Thursday po. God bless everyone. Happy watching. God bless Miss Paner. Kamusta ka? Miss Paner and I have been doing this nga for, must be 5 years now, Miss Paner, no? Likewise with Miss Rafael, Emmeline Rafael, Madam. Look, she's feeling good because she's messaging me, all caps, no? Hello, good evening, Attorney Lira, and happy Thursday, everyone. Happy Thursday po, Ms. Rafael. Are you well? Oh, tamang-tama. Bulaklak ang picture, oh. It's spring. So, tignan nyo, no? Ms. Rafael is great. She's a lovely, lovely person. Oh, Egay, the great guy from London, no? Warm Thursday, sabi po niyan. Tama ka, Egay, no? Suddenly, spring has sprung. And to the viewers, worked in Canary Wharf today. At least it wasn't raining, no? And taking care of Justin now. Oh, good news, Attorney Lira. I'm now Uncle Pinoy Lechon Belly Ambassador. So Uncle Pinoy Lechon Belly Ambassador. Just use the the guy promo code for 10% discount. This man is an entrepreneur. Looking forward to lots of learning again and to Attorney Lira's lovely voice. Egay, the great guy. No? He's so modest. No? Sabi niya, Egay, the guy. But no, it's Egay, the great guy. No? Now, tingnan natin. So, Miss Rafael, tingnan mo, still watching in the Philippines. Nasa Pilipinas siya. Madaling araw na ba sa atin ngayon? Yeah, we're 8 hours ahead tayo, no? So, salamat naman, Miss Rafael, no? She's so loyal. Oh, speaking of Miss Ma'am Cora Carsola, magandang gabi. Oh, gandang Attorney Lira and everyone. Many thanks again for the legal issues you're sharing to us tonight. Oh, salamat po, Ma'am Cora. Are you well? I hope you're inside, no? Well, I mean, it's or outside in the pub. Love to Justin and Watson. Justin, of course, alam nyo, Justin is Egay, the great guy's lovely, lovely son. No, and Watson is my dog. Okay, Watson's actually not been very well. Watson had an operation in November on his leg, and it's only now. March na tayo. That's what 4 months. No, 4 months. It's better. So he's actually not been it's not been very well, unfortunately, Watson, but he's recovered. It's not stopped him from eating. But there you go. Oh, Miss Jones, Marilyn Jones, a blessed Thursday, and to you too, no? Attorney Lira, and all viewers, another enjoyable evening full of information and learning. Oh, salamat, Miss Jones. Miss Jones, I have known literally decades. No, diba? Diba? No? She's lovely. She's a lovely, lovely person. Another hard-working Pinay. No, but we kind of all are. No, mainly. Yeah, Miss Acerada, Arlene Acerada. Good evening, Attorney Lira, and to all the viewers. Good evening po. How are you, Madam? You well? I hope you're inside. No, anong oras na ngayon? Alas 8 na, no? Alas 8 lagpas na. So I hope you had your dinner. I've not had my dinner. I don't know. Kumain na kayo? Miss Tigbao! I haven't heard from you for a while, Madam. May Tigbao Vargas. Good evening, Attorney Lira, and to all viewers watching from Exeter in Devon. It's beautiful there during spring and summer, but especially spring. I'm jealous, no? Kamusta ka, Madam? Are you well? I hope you're well, no? Miss Nadella, Risa Nadella. Very well explained, Attorney Lira. Very proud of you. Salamat, Miss Nadella. She is lovely, no, Miss Nadella. Wow, si Miss Rafael sabi niya, yes, it's 4:08. Madaling araw. 8 a.m. here in Pinas. Salamat, Miss Rafael. I'm so grateful nga. I just had a vision of you sitting there nga, no, with your laptop. Tuning in, and it's 4:08 in the morning. Siguro mga pamilya mo, they're probably saying, ano bang ginagawa mo? Anong ginagawa mo? No? Miss Paner, Maria Galicia Paner, sabi po niya, I'm okay po, Attorney. It's already 5 years this, talaga? This March? Tama ka, Madam. Yeah, of course. Because we started in, 2000, itong mga broadcasts natin, ano? That's because of the pandemic, di ba? Umpisa natin. And we're now 2025. Ang bilis ng panahon. Ang bilis ng panahon. I am astonished. Sabi ni May, I'm okay. No choir rehearsal tonight. Missing your program. Oh, thanks for tuning in, May. Oh, you sing, in a choir? I was told or asked by someone, that do I sing? Because it seems all Filipinos that I'm not sure how many Filipinos, sing. Sabi ko sa kanya, absolutely not. No? Well, I can sing, but badly. So anyway, I hope you can. I'm sure, May, that you're a great singer. No, so I wouldn't mind hearing you sing sometime. No? I know that some of our kababayans nga, no, regular viewers nga natin, that they are talented musically. Ma'am Cora sabi, magkakapi po kami ng kabagis imuli. Tama, yeah, you should get together. No, actually, we should all get together. We don't have the COVID excuse na nga ngayon, and it's also not winter anymore. We should see something. We should see about getting together. I'm the only Filipino in the choir. Sabi ni May, talaga, May? But I bet you can sing really, really well. I know a fair few people nga, Pinoys, who can sing really, really well. I'm so impressed nga, no? Well, how you enjoy it? You sing in the choirs in church, May? No? And if you do, send us a link, ha? I wouldn't mind absolutely checking it out, no? And of course, marami tayong mga Filipino great singers, great performers nga, no? Outcast, sabi niya, Thursday episode full of legal insights. Hi, Attorney, missed you last week. It's so nice that you noticed. Wala ako last week. I had, wala ako last week, partly because of tong case na pinag-uusapan nga natin, no? The case that I had, I was madly preparing for was actually very similar. It dealt with this case nga of Court of Appeal case. That's when. So that's why I wasn't around. So I missed you all actually. I miss Thursdays. Our Thursday get together. Pagka wala nga ako dito. It's Thursday is never. It's not somehow. It's missing something. Ang sabi ni May dito, Exeter back choir. Oh, okay. Are you on YouTube? Because I'm going to check you out, huh? I'm going to listen and I'm going to watch out for you, May. Okay. And if there's a kind of a link, YouTube link, yeah, send it to me because I really wouldn't mind. I find it. I am awed by people who are musically talented. No, those who can play instruments well, those who can sing really well. No, um, and actually, a few years back, no, meron tayong Filipino group who took part. It was this X X Factor, no X Factor. For impact or for something like that. Ang galing-galing nila, no? Every so often, I still watch them on YouTube. So anyway, so I hope that you say hello nga, no? If you have not said hello tonight, try it next week, no? It's never too late, no? And you can always just say hello nga, no? Just ping me nga an email, no? And I'll try and read it out, of course. Now, mga questions po natin. Must not forget mga questions natin, okay? And we have a fair few nga tonight. So, unang question po ito. Hello po, paano po ba mag-apply ng child visitor? Oh, okay. Ano pong yung form na dapat i-fill up? Medyo po nakakalito yung information sa UKVI website. I'm not surprised. Thank you, sabi niya. Okay, so ang kaso, ang tanong, child visitor visa, ano? It's the same form. It's a standard visit visa. Okay? But, no? There are things na kailangan yung idagdag nga for additional requirements for child visitor visas, no? Kailangan yung pakita, and these are the documents you're gonna upload afterwards, after you submitted the application, na there are adequate arrangements to travel, no? And care of the child in the United Kingdom, especially kung mag-isa nga lang sila. So kung bata pa sila, they have to be accompanied. Pagka nandito na sila, sino mag-aalaga sa kanila? Kailangan nyo sabihin din yun, no? So if the applicant is not traveling with a parent or guardian, then who's gonna be responsible? Importante po yun. Otherwise, they may refuse it on that basis. And most of the time, the consent of the parents will need to be provided, no, given in writing. Now, a child who also holds a visit visa must either hold a visit visa that states they are accompanied and will be traveling with an adult identified on the visit visa, or hold a visit visa that states that they are unaccompanied. Kung bata nga, they need to be accompanied, no? Otherwise, they may be refused an application. But going back to your question, it's the same application form. Okay? Pero kailangan nyo nga lang dagdagan nga yung yung ipapasok nyo. No? And don't forget the usual thing with visit visas, especially with visit visas. Ang payo ko, prepare a statement. For most applications, I would recommend a statement actually. Prepare a statement setting out ano bang plano. No? If the child's traveling on their own, why? Okay? If the child's traveling accompanied by someone, sure, sabihin nyo nga doon. And how long is the child staying for? No? Maybe traveling for the Easter break o kaya for the summertime. Ilagay nyo doon, kwento nyo, ano bang plano, especially may mga bata. Otherwise, they'll just refuse the application. Now, let's have a look at the next question nga natin. Tingnan natin dito. Okay. We're planning to sponsor our parents here in the UK, sa UK. My husband is the main sponsor kasi siyang nag-work. Ano pong AOS? AOS, I assume, is affidavit. Need po ba ang AOS? Probably means that AOS as in affidavit of support, no? And if yes, where do I get it from? Okay. Yes, I would suggest you prepare an affidavit in support, otherwise known as statement. It can also be a letter, but I like to prepare statements, no? And there's no, it's not a document really that you get from the Home Office. It's something that you prepare. And as a starting point, lagay nyo doon, no? Tapos yung pangalan nyo, saan kayo nakatira, and anong relationship nyo to that you're the daughter, and you're seeking to apply for your parents to join you in the United Kingdom, to visit you in the UK. Ang payo ko nga din, kahit nga yung asawa mo, sabi mo nga dito siya mag-i-sponsor dahil siyang nagtatrabaho, it really should be a statement also from you, because ikaw ang anak nila eh. So sabihin mo nga doon yun, and yes, they will be provided for when they're in the United Kingdom from the family income nga, your husband is working, ang trabaho nga niya, and of course, yung asawa mo nga din. So, it's not a question really of siyang mag-i-sponsor, no? Because you are inviting them, the applicants, of course, are your parents, but really, you're both inviting them. So, importante ka din, no? Because you're the one really that linked the two. Kung siya nga lang magbibigay ng statement, the Home Office may say, well, what's their relationship? So statements is important. There's no standard statement, but always start nga pangalan mo, no? And put structure. You're making an application for your parents whose details are as follows. Ang edad nila, anong ginagawa nila sa atin, okay? Anong trabaho, anong ginagawa mo dito? Ang trabaho ng asawa mo. Saan kayo nakatira? No? How many bedrooms? Saan sila titira pagka nandito sila? Anong plano nyo, no? Are you going to stay in the UK, travel around the United Kingdom, or are you looking to maybe apply for Schengen visa for them to go with you to France? No, ganon. So, in your tama ka, yes, absolutely affidavit in support, but also importante nga din that it's also coming from you. Okay, and there's no template really, no. But you don't need a template as long as you follow a structure. Sabihin mo nga doon, sino ka, sino sila, asawa mo, ano bang plano, no? I would even go so far as to say, ang income asawa mo, ito, saan kayo nakatira, how many bedrooms, so yun. Okay? Good luck. Let me know what happens, ha? Now, I'm sure we have other questions. Tingnan nga natin. Question. Okay, so sabi niya, parehas kami ng partner ko na Tier 2 visa. Okay? If magpakasal po kami, pwede bang mag-apply ng spouse visa ang isa sa amin while nandito sa UK? Thank you. Yes, is the quick answer. You can apply to vary your leave to remain from under the skilled work route, okay, or Tier 2 nga in the olden days, to that of the dependent spouse, okay, of the Tier 2 applicant. But beware, okay, because I've seen this happen nga. What's the phrase? Oh, you put your eggs in one basket. All your eggs in one basket, no? So kung may mangyari, sabihin natin ikaw, kinasal nga kayo, no? Pinalitan mo yung visa mo, dependent ka na nga niya. What happens if he is dismissed from his employment? No? Tapos ang visa niya, tapos din ang visa mo because you're dependent. So unless somehow there's a reason for it, such as say, of course, if you're dependent of a Tier 2 or skilled worker, you are allowed to work in the UK without restriction as regards type of employment. So that's certainly a big benefit to changing over to the visa. But be careful nga lang because you are, as I've said, no, putting all your eggs in one basket, but you can otherwise. Okay. Now, I'm sure meron pa tayo mga, Miss Paner, sabi, attorney, may nagpapatanong lang po. Siguro po nandito, okay, sa UK at indefinite na po siya. Gusto po niyang invite ang partner niya dito papunta sa UK. Ano po mga documents para kailangan niya? Maraming salamat, Miss Maner, for your question. Now, it depends really kung anong balak, anong plano. Okay? So, yung partner niya, sabi mo dito, okay, partner niya, hindi ko alam kung kasal na nga sila. Okay? Kung hindi sila kasal, it could be na matagal na sila dito, UK, so matagal na sila, nagsasama sila sa Pilipinas dati, sabihin natin, so they can potentially come as an unmarried partner, o kaya kung balak na magpakasal dito, maybe fiancé, o kaya, as we were discussing nga earlier, as a visitor, no? Papasyal nga lang dito, gusto niya makita ang UK, gusto niyang tignan if they potentially want to make UK their home, tapos babalik siya, gusto sila magpapakasal, kung hindi pa sila kasal, babalik nga dito. So, depends really kung anong plano yun. But if it's anything to do with the relationship, at saka dito siya pupunta, dito ang balak nga nila ay dito na sila titira, no? Magkasama sila dito. Then you're looking at relationship application. So by that, kailangan ni Mr. ng A1 test, tuberculosis certificate, negative certificate, kailangan ng income nung kaibigan mo nga dito is £29,000, no? before tax, because tumaas nga, no? In 2023, tinasan nila from 18,600 to 29,000. Kailangan may bahay sila dito, no? It doesn't have to be owned by them. I mean, ibig sabihin bahay, as in, meron silang titiran dito. It can be rented. It can just be a room also. So all those things, and of course, the relationship must be genuine. So all those things need to be ticked. Now, kung yung mangyari, then pagpasok niya dito as a partner, then, unless it's a fiance, but if it's a partner, kasal o hindi kasal, then it's 2.5-year visa at the outset. That can be extended another 2.5 years. After that, potentially can apply for indefinite leave to remain. Kung fiance, 6 months visa lang bibigay sa kanya. Una, pagkakasal na sila dito, pwede na kailangan nilang palitan, and then it becomes a spouse visa nga. As a fiance, beware though, you can't work, okay, during the 6 months nga fiance, okay? But kung visit visa, again, same thing. Importante po, statement, no? And one thing that I actually notice sometimes now with refusals and the Home Office with these types of applications is you need to address why it is that they're just coming in to visit, no? Kung meron kayong relationship nga. And be frank, no? It could be that they just want to see the country. You haven't quite decided which country to make your home, for example. You want to just see, hindi pa nga siya ready, dahil may trabaho nga siya sa atin, o meron siyang mga pamilya pa sa atin na naalagaan, gano'n. So say it in your statement, okay? So evidence is king. Statement is important. But thanks for that, Ms. Paner. Thanks for that. Always comes up with great questions. So sabi mo niya, okay po, thanks. Thanks for the question, no? Now, so our next question po ito. Good day po, sabi niya, good day. May tanong sana ako regarding sa situation ko. Okay? About extension ng FLRM. FLRM is a form. FLRM is the marriage form, the relationship form, and update ng visa status ko. Kasi po, nag-try ako mag-update, pero wala akong nakalagay na date kung until kailan ang valid ng visa ko. Okay? Para hindi po siya na-update. Plano kong umuwi sa Pilipinas this June, pero medyo nag-aalala ko, baka magkaroon ako ng issues immigration officer pagpapalik ko ng UK. Meron po akong email galing sa Home Office na nagsasabing approve ang visa ko hanggang August 2027. Pwede po bang itong pakita ko sa immigration officer bilang proof ng visa status ko? Maraming salamat po sa inyong tulong. Okay. Now, I have some update actually on this very point. Tingnan nyo. So, it's your questions are to the point, ha? So, una po ito. Kailangan mo ng e-visa. Okay? The e-visa, you can apply for. Now, papakita ko sa inyo, no? So, let me just see if I can bring it up. No? So, let me just see. Ito po. Okay? So, the big blob there, no? That's where your photo is. So, itong itsura. Pagka nagpasok kayo ng application for an e-visa, which should, there are a few things to complete. You need to upload your photo and all of that. But otherwise, ito po ang makukuha nyo. So, you log back on. Pagka natapos na, you log back on and you can get confirmation of your immigration status. So, makikita nyo dyan, nandiyan pangalan nyo, birthday nyo, nationality, status nyo, valid from, no? At saka kailan matatapos, no? And at the bottom it says here, prove your status. So ito ang kailangan mong papakita, no? So it also says nga what you can do in the United Kingdom, no? Things that you can't do, legal basis nga of status. So in this case, so nakikita niyo, legal basis of status, you've been granted permission to stay in the United Kingdom, also known as leave to remain until the 27th of March 2026. This is actually from a matter that I have, no? So, sasabihin nga doon, that's how you prove it. Yung sulat po galing sa Home Office, that would be, that's not an e-visa. So, ang payo ko, unang-una, get an e-visa. Okay? And from that, yung kailangan bigay sa kanila, sa pakita nga sa Home Office, to show that you have status in the United Kingdom. And it's not the Home Office actually that I find, or my clients find problematic. Yung eroplano, no? Actually at the airport, because airlines are fined quite a lot of money, goes into the thousands of pounds nga, if they allow someone to board who does not have proper visa to come into the United Kingdom. They get fined. No? So you'll find actually na hindi ka papapasukin sa aeroplano. And the problem with that is they're not the home office. Pagka dumating ka dito sa UK, sabihin natin nasa Heathrow ka na, no? Pwede nilang tignan ang status mo. No? And papapasukin ka, I'm pretty sure. No? Ang problema nga, it's to get from, say, the Philippines to come back to the United Kingdom. Yun. So that is where the danger lies, if you like. Now, update, okay? E-visa grace period. Let me read to you what the Home Office says, okay? The Home Office website nga. So e-visa grace period allowing travel with an expired biometric residence permit extended to the 1st of June, 2025. So sabi nila dito, this is from the Home Office, following the announcement in December 2024 that people would be able to use expired biometric residence permits for travel until the end of March. If you remember, the Minister for Migration and Citizenship has announced an extension. So sabi nila, this allows people with a biometric residence permit, BRP, or EUSS biometric residence card. So if you're EU dependent nga, that expired on or after the 31st of December 2024 and who continue to hold underlying immigration status, may visa pa kayo, ibig sabihin, to continue to use their expired document for international travel up to and including the 1st of June 2025. From the 2nd of June, expired BRPs and BRCs will no longer be acceptable evidence of immigration status when traveling to the United Kingdom, unless they extend it again. The reason for that is they estimate that there's something like over 600,000 people still who have not yet applied for an e-visa. Okay? So, pero ikaw, going back to our viewer nga, ang plano mo, you're looking to travel actually in, sabi mo, I think you said here in June, no? Pauwi ka sa atin in June. So, the extension nga to the 1st of June 2025 is not going to help you. So, ang payo ko, get an e-visa. No? It may take you a few days nga for it to be processed, but it shouldn't be much longer than that. No? So, if you're unsure nga about how to do it, get advice. No? It's put it this way. There are many more difficult, types of applications than e-visas, but you need it, so do it. Okay. Now, ewan ko, meron pa tayong mga nagbabati, but in the meantime, alam ko na maraming nanonood sa atin nga ngayon, and salamat po. You are so kind. Special shout out to Ma'am Rafael, Emmeline Rafael, because she's watching us from the Philippines, 4:30 na siguro sa atin, and she's logging in. Salamat po. So a shout out to you all watching, and I know also that I can see that you're watching throughout. Again, salamat po. It's Thursday is never actually the same for me if we don't have to get together. I miss it. So I'm sorry I missed last week, but I'm here today. Now, so salamat po uli sa inyong lahat, long-time friends and viewers and Facebook groups that allow us to post our contents nga on their pages. Remember, if you send your questions in before by next Thursday morning at the very latest po, I will read them out, and kung meron kayong mga questions, I will try my best to deal with them. If you have a question that that's relevant to that day nga, it could be that it becomes a star question, which means that we're looking at it in quite a lot more detail, So salamat po uli sa inyong lahat. I hope that you're going to enjoy the next few days. That's going to be spring, at least 2 days, and then sabi nila uulan daw uli next over the weekend. Tingnan natin. But yeah, it's thank you again po. It's always a pleasure truly, no? And it's always very enjoyable, at least for me. And I hope it's also for you, no? Thank you again for keeping me company. So until next time po, no? Same time, same place at Lira No. Good night.